I'm about to ruin my best friend's life, and I don't feel remorse. My soon-to-be ex-best friend, and I have been friends since middle school. We know everything about each other. Our families are basically one big family now. You get the idea. Like I said, we tell each other everything. Recently, she came to me telling me she's been having an affair for about 4 months with her superior at her new job, which she started about a year ago. She told me not out of guilt, but to brag about the dream vacation she's going on with her affair partner, disguised as a work trip. She asked me to cover for her if her husband asks if we've been in contact. She asked this because she's planning on going black for that week, so he would have no way of finding out. Side note, we've both known her husband since high school. They are high school sweethearts, so they've been together for almost 15 years. Her husband is one of the most honest, hardworking, genuine people I know. He, of course, took everything she said about working late and the business trip at face value because he trusts her more than he trusts himself. I told her I would not be covering for her and to get out of my house because I couldn't even look at her right now. Later, I told my husband everything that happened, and he was just as shocked and disgusted. Her husband is basically his best friend now, so he, of course, has a lot of loyalty to him as well. My husband pointed out something I didn't even think of. Our security camera. It caught everything. We plan on going to her husband tonight with the proof. It will be up to him to do what he wishes with it, but he deserves to know. Secondly, we're taking this to her job. As far as I know, fraternization of any kind is prohibited at her workplace. She was also promoted once by the same supervisor, so this could be seen as favoritism. Our guess is that they will both be fired. Finally, I'm going to send a snippet of her admitting the affair to all of her family, including mine. As I said, our families are very intertwined, so I will easily be able to contact the majority of her family. I'm not going to give her a chance to spin this against me or her husband. Some may think this is harsh, but I wholeheartedly disagree with what she's doing. Well, Opie, I agree with you on 33% of your planned actions. As I've said many times before, cheaters suck. And even though I don't completely agree with what you want to do, I think the fact that you're not willing to compromise your values for a friend who I'm pretty sure broke your heart with the news of what she's doing shows the true strength of your character. Having said that, I think that you should only tell the husband, and then he decides what to do with that information. I don't know if it's necessary for you to go the extra mile and blow up her work and family life. I mean, by telling her husband, work is going to eventually find out, and karma is going to chase her over there. I would assume her family is also going to probably find out once the husband finds out. Just to be very clear, I'm not trying to protect her. I just think it's his decision whether to press that button or not. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now, let's move on to the community comments. Zeepin says, tell the husband. Then it's his decision on how scorched earth he wants to go. What you do to her affects him. Get her fired. You risk that he'll have to pay spousal support to her. Tell the family they're going to bombard him. Pajama Pete 5 says, yet a husband, no to job or families. Seems like you want to destroy her life. Her husband deserves to know, but not sure it's your place to ruin her career. Dichotomy says, agree. You should make the husband aware. Any skeletons in your closet? If so, she'll scorch earth you. Good luck. And Mom's special friend says, contacting her work and family is actually insane behavior. It's not on you to enact punishments on people. You aren't the law, and you aren't God. Tell your friend's husband, and let that be it. Anything more, and you will look completely deranged. Typhoid Mary says, are you going to boil her bunny too? Don't be a psycho. Tell her husband, but leave her work out of it. You sound holier than thou. Don't be that person. Ops edit. I decided to take the advice of some of the commenters and leave it up to her soon-to-be ex to decide to go nuclear or not. As some of you pointed out, he may decide to stay with her, and going nuclear would ruin his life in turn. The other reason is that going nuclear and making her lose her job could affect the outcome of the divorce. We still plan to tell him, but we have decided against the other two options for now. I'm going to let Sunda Bex know if she tries to pin this on either of us or tells anyone a single lie, I will do a 180 and go nuclear. I will not be seen as a villain for a situation I didn't even ask to be in the first place. She was the one who thought it would be smart to tell her monogamous friend with traditional values that she's cheating on her spouse. She can lie in her bed. Ops and post update. So, I'm calling my ex-best friend Alyssa and her husband Noah. I decided to take the advice of a few people and reach out to Alyssa before I went to her husband. I recorded the conversation and let her know it was for my safety. She seemed still extremely nonchalant about the whole thing. I told her I was worried for her, and even for her, this was very out of character behavior. Long story short, she's felt very weak and unbalanced in her and Noah's marriage. For context, Noah went to a trade school and makes very good money, while up until her promotion, Alyssa was making slightly more than minimum wage. She has recently been reading up on some anti-traditional values, and the women in those forums attacked her for making less than her husband. She then explained that she noticed her supervisor was trying to flirt with her, and her internet friends told her to run with it and use him to get higher up. Of course, she did, but admitted she'd become emotionally attached to him as well. All in all, she admitted she doesn't really regret the affair because it helped with her career and she found love. I told her she had the option to tell Noah the truth before me, but hubby and I were coming over tonight with the video of her admitting the affair, so she wouldn't be able to sway it in her favor again. She very nonchalantly said, "Okay," and hung up on me. I don't know what the heck is going on. I can't tell if she's having some sort of psychosis, or she's literally just so detached from her marriage that she doesn't care what happens. Hubby and I still plan on going to Noah tonight, but I'm honestly intrigued to see what she says to him, if she says anything at all. Okay, so Op took the community's advice and learned that Alyssa is an idiot that apparently doesn't care at all. In any case, we've got 2 more updates, so let's move on with the first one to see what happened next. I took a lot of people's advice and decided not to go nuclear, as many people said. At the end of the day, it's not my circus. The decision should be left up to the wronged party, and that is Noah. I also decided to reach out to Alyssa before telling Noah, and decided to give her a chance to confess to Noah herself. After I talked to her, I was legit thinking about reaching out to her parents about medical help because she was so unbothered and so non-remorseful about the affair that I thought she was having some sort of mental break or psychosis. Alyssa has always been the kind to find loopholes or ways around things, but cheating on your spouse of almost 2 decades for financial gain is not normal. She told me the whole reason she started the affair was to get a promotion at work. It evolved into an emotional affair eventually, though she admitted that her new online friends told her she wasn't as valuable as she was making herself out to be. Something I learned is that she's been more insecure about this than she's been telling people. These friends also told her that using a man isn't cheating as long as there's no emotional attachment. She's just being a girl boss. She admitted she couldn't separate her feelings from the intimate aspect and started going on regular dates and vacations. Eventually, they started calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. The affair partner knows she's married, but was told they were on the verge of separation. So my hi and I arrived at Noah and Alyssa's with some booze and some dinner. By the time we were there, Noah had already gone through a bottle of wine. Surprisingly, Alyssa did confess to Noah about the affair. He told us it was extremely non-apologetic, though. She sat him down and told him that she wasn't going on a business trip this week. She was going on a vacation with her boyfriend. Noah, being the clueless and loyal person he is, thought he meant to say husband, and was so excited he asked if they're going to Italy, like they planned. Alyssa just stared at him. She repeated, with my boyfriend. It took a few minutes, but it finally sunk in. He told us it wasn't pretty after that, and said he embarrassingly got on his knees and begged her to fix everything. She yelled for a bit, but then just stonewalled him again. She was already packed to leave, and just left them there, sobbing. She turned off her location, which both Noah and I were a part of her family on the app, and we have no idea where she went. We assume she went to her affair partner's house, because if she had gone home with 2 suitcases, her mother would have reached out to Noah immediately. She sees him as a son. We sat down with Noah and said we had video and audio proof of Alyssa exposing and explaining the affair, and we will send them to him in case he needs them. I explained to him that in a moment of blind rage, I was planning on going scorched earth and telling everyone, but once I calmed down and looked at this rationally, I realized that that wasn't the right thing to do. I told him the only person going full nuclear would hurt was him because Alyssa obviously didn't care anymore. As I suspected, the idea of reconciliation is still on his mind, but he doesn't see it happening. In order to reconcile, both parties must admit fault and want to reconcile. We've gotten him in contact with a friend of my hubby who agrees to help him pro bono until the divorce shows results. I can tell he's still hesitant about going forward with a divorce, but he knows he also can't force Alyssa to stay, as comments have suggested. This is where we bow out. We're obviously going to continue to support Noah, but it's not our situation to handle, it's his. It's his. Thanks for being so supportive and helpful. It made me realize that how Noah handles his life and his marriage is his responsibility, not mine. I wanted to clear up some questions from the last post that I didn't really answer in the update. What did Alyssa ever do to you to make you want to go so nuclear? Honestly, nothing particular. Like I said, for the past few years, our friendship has been for convenience at its best. We've basically been friends because we know each other so well and we have at least one friend. Alyssa has always had qualities I don't agree with, but who doesn't? I think it was just the whole situation that made my blood boil, especially since Alyssa has always been disgusted by cheaters. She was the kind of person to cut dozens of people out of her life if it meant not supporting someone's infidelity. So for her to make a complete 180 and not even have guilt for it, it just grinds my gears. Are you in love with Noah? Of course not. Singing someone's praises and trying to portray that they're genuine and a good person doesn't automatically mean you want to sleep with them. Our relationship has been nothing more than platonic for the entire time I've known him because he loved Alyssa and I love their happiness. I love my husband and literally only ever saw Noah like a brother. Logic, people, okay? So, opted go to the husband, but he already knew everything and apparently wants to reconcile, which hopefully he doesn't do that now. As I said before, we have a final update, so let's move on with that to see how this story ends. Well, I didn't expect to be back so soon, but the last week has been basically a speed run of terrible events. This will probably be my last update, so feel free to consider this the conclusion of the events. Everything bad that could have happened, happened. The past 2 days, specifically, have been absolutely horrible. Sorry if this is all over the place. I'm still all over the place. So, I don't know if it was the day she left or the day after, but Alyssa and her affair partner went on their vacation. The only reason I know is because she posted pictures all over social media of her and her affair partner. She had absolutely no shame. It was very clear that even if she wasn't divorced, this was her new boyfriend. Which, of course, notified her family of the issues. Noah's phone was blowing up with apologies, accusations, everything you could think of. Noah, being the people-pleaser he is, decided to tell her family they were on a mutual break instead of telling everybody she cheated, and that was the affair partner. Alyssa's mom, fortunately, didn't believe him and came to me. I didn't hold back. I told her that she's been cheating on Noah for months and that she recently bragged to me about her sugar daddy affair partner, and that's the only reason she came clean to Noah. Alyssa's mom then dropped a bomb on me that even I didn't know. Alyssa is a serial cheater. Her mom said that in high school, Alyssa would bring boys under the guise of school projects or sports-related things, but she caught Alyssa kissing 2 different boys. Keep in mind, she was dating Noah all this time. She said she didn't think much of it and just chalked it up to being a crazy, hormonal teenager. She also said she never expected her to marry her high school boyfriend, and by the time they were married, she figured Alyssa had stopped doing all this stuff. Neither her nor I have any idea if she's done anything like that since high school through to the present, but I'm not interested in digging further into it. This just explains why Alyssa was just so nonchalant about cheating, because apparently she has just always done it. I'm guessing her girl boss friends awoke something inside her, and she remembered how easily and nonchalantly she would cheat, which inspired her to just do it again. I don't know, no. I'll be honest. I kind of yelled at her mother, something I'm not proud of. Like I've said in previous posts, Alyssa's mom is basically my mom, so formalities and everything aren't something I think about when I talk to her. So, I freaked out and told her she put Noah up for this kind of life, when he could have found somebody 10 times better. She took it like a champ and just let me vent until I was calm again. I apologized for yelling but calmly said, "You and I both know Noah deserved better. Then I told her you should have said something before he got married to her. She agreed but said it's too late now to focus on that, and that the real issue at this time was supporting Noah. I told her if she wanted to support Noah, she could have told the missus that her fiancé was a cheater 10 years ago and hung up on her. I've since talked to her, we're fine, but I was just too mad at her in the moment. The next thing that happened was that the photos got back to a colleague, and both of them were out of a job before their vacation was even over. I assumed their workplace was extremely upset and did consider Alyssa getting the promotion as favoritism, and they were both let go. Noah told me there was at least 3 HR complaints about them, so it was a no-brainer. Of course, the beautiful relationship Alyssa and her affair partner had turned sour as soon as he learned he was let go from his 6-figure job because of her. He was so pissed he even canceled Alyssa's plane ticket home out of spite and planned to leave her stranded there. This is where all of you will be disappointed, and so am I, but Noah immediately forgave her. He bought her a ticket and moved her back in. She told him it was just a huge mistake, and seeing how her affair partner treated her made her realize what she could have lost. It's obviously all BS to me and hubby, but you already know Noah ate that crap up. He's told us that he's urging her to go to couples counseling, but of course, it's not an ultimatum. So basically, she just gotta have her cake and eat it with no consequences. We told Noah previously and reminded him that if he decided to take Alyssa back, we'd be going at the very least low contact. We kept our word and have completely blocked Alyssa and have Noah unblocked, but don't plan to engage in small talk or invitations to stuff. We refuse to be like him and just act like this never happened, because that's not normal. He understood but told us he has to stand by the vows he made to his wife, which we both understand to an extent, and wish him well. So yeah, Alyssa got to sleep with another man, go on a nice vacation, lose her job, and still get a bed and a husband to come home to. All's well that ends well. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, if they want to live their effed up, broken marriage life, that's their choice. I'm not even mad anymore, just drained. I'm almost glad it's over, because I don't know if I could deal with this for months on end. I knew this was going to happen eventually. It's just who Noah is. But it feels just as idiotic as it sounds. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm glad we decided to step back because, honestly, both of them had very clear psychological issues that need to be addressed with a professional. But neither of them will ever do that. I'd rather be rid of people like this. Sorry if I'm being blunt or mean, but at the end of the day, both of them have issues I didn't sign up to deal with. I don't need this kind of stress while hubby and I are trying for kids. So yeah, I guess this is it. Yep. Well, hopefully Noah wises up the next time Alyssa cheats on him. Because let's face it, we all know it's going to happen. As for you, I think you're making the right decision. This is on Noah. He made his choice. That's it. So, here's wishing you the best in the future. Op. Thanks for sharing. And now, let's finish this video with a mood booster. I have to lock my dog in the bathroom when working from home. I work from home, and my home is a studio apartment. My workplace has a no pets policy. I thought that it would only apply to bringing pets to their office. I didn't know that it would also apply on Zoom calls when working at home. I got an office strike for breaching that policy when my dog was in the background of a Zoom call. My dog was simply sitting still in the background. The only place where I could hide my dog out of view was in the bathroom. No worries, Pete. I got a still image of dogs in a dog park and used it as my Zoom virtual background. My dog was, as usual, sitting behind me, but out of their view this time. Nicely done. Op hiding in plain sight. And what a stupid rule that is. Thanks for sharing, Op. And that's it for today's stories.